the table, not round, no square, no triangle. We come to hang and for the game on Fridays as we're able. We play well here in Camelot, we are chums and fun, but Camelot. We're nice around the table, our host is formidable. He runs a strange, loves insane, but sure he's quite unstable. He's automatic in Camelot, but seems never to have done a lot. Label, quite incomprehensible. No wrenching and we have no plan but to sit and hear Dutch babble. It's a lazy time in Camelot.
I have to shake my bum a lot.
This channel is a not-so-proud member of YouTube's all-encompassing special society of heavily overwhelmed layout enthusiasts. Check any railway show, check any railway club, check any layout, check your own house. You'll find one of us somewhere. Warning, the content of this stream is not suitable for children under the age of 16. The topic, language, themes, attitude, and personality of the presenter is not appropriate for anyone, much less children under the age of 16. Topics discussed will not center on trains and will focus on anything except politics. It just happens trains are running. Any similarity between characters, situations, trains, and intelligent thoughts is strictly a coincidence. Any rebroadcast or transmission of the stream without the expressed written consent of Major League Baseball is strictly prohibited. Viewer discretion is advised. Remember the 3 rules for model train layouts and pretty much anything. It's your layout, do what you want as you want. Do not tell someone else what to do unless they ask you directly what they should do. Do not call out, mock, criticize, or insult another channel on your channel or anyone else's channel. Thank you for your cooperation.
See it, you'll love it, and it's all done in the best possible way.
Hey everybody, welcome to the great meeting hall of Castle Camelot, also known as my basement. Hope you're all well. It is another Friday. It's amazing how quickly these things come and then how quickly they go. But it's nice to have all my fellow knights here. We welcome everybody. And we just ask that you refrain from any political or religious mentionings. This is my getaway from it. So, yeah. Anyhow, it's been an up and down busy week. I have not worked on the Fowler car anymore. I mean, basically, I don't need to work on the Fowler car. It is working. I am just in the process of trying to clean up and finalize some of the things. And I ordered some new material to finish it up last week, and it still hasn't been mailed. I sent a letter to the eBay seller and saying, hey, I know we had a storm, but why haven't you shipped this yet? Because eBay says, well, it's been shipped. Why? Because they created a label, but it hasn't been handed over to the post office. And I really wish eBay would learn to differentiate that when something has not been accepted at the mail, it has not been shipped. Just because somebody prints up a label doesn't mean they've shipped it. So anyhow, before I ramble on any further, let's see which of our fellow knights have joined us and are still on my board. If you haven't throwing up a comment in a couple of minutes. Throw up a comment so we can make sure we give you due credit. So we have our CEO, the head of the Knights of the Round Boy Table, Sir Tim of Dowd is here. Sir Lee of Anfield Road is in the background working on something, I'm sure. Sir Carl Braun from Bangatcher Junction is here. Sir Christoph of the Isle of Man is here. Later, we can rent the cottage on the Isle of Man if it's not too dear. Anyhow, Sir Chuck Schreiber is here. Sir Gerald Stewart is here. And with a name like Stewart, I mean, that's a very regal name. I mean, usually spelled with the S-T-U-A-R-T version, but still. Sir Greg from Great Northern is here. Sir Andy, the hot dog pilot, is here. Sir Jean Ricard is here. The Royal Berserker, we'll call him, the Great Dane. Sir Andy from March West Junction is here. Sir Dino of Model Railway Shed is here. Sir Clive from Newland Railway is here. Glad to see you've got a top on and have some lighting you can work on and a little bit of heat. I have a space heater in my garage in case I have to work on something in the garage in the dead of winter, and it's a good one. It does heat up the place where I'm working very nicely and quickly. We have Sir KJ from Wool and Bleu. We have Sir Scott of Wood is here. Sir Tom Couples is here. The Sergeant at Arms. Although we always want to say out there to our old friend, Sir Joseph Aglimoto, we miss you, my friend, over there. I see my daughter just popped in. Kyan is sick today. Oh, no. Well, hang on, everybody. Cover your ears. Kyan! Opa loves you. I'm sorry you don't feel good today. I hope you didn't share it with me. Hi, sweetheart Lenny and Chris, who's still at work. But it's great to have you guys pop in. So, hi, Kyan. Feel better so you can come over on Sunday and hang out. Let's see. Sir Tom Houston. Sir Chris from the Valleys is here. Great to see you. Sir Xander Janssen is here. Welcome in. And again, I have not seen, I don't know if he's on holidays or something else, but I haven't seen Sir Mick, the Royal Barkeep, in a little while. So I hope he is okay. I mentioned it last week, although I had seen him in somebody's live stream or something a week or two ago. But again, Mick, I hope you're well. And Sir Ifo Van Zon is here. I know he was here earlier. Sir Ray Bobel, quite an interesting trip you had to Amherst and back. And that is everybody on my list. So if I missed you and didn't call your name, it's because you're not on my list at the moment. But yeah, so what I've been doing, I've been monkeying around with lighting. When we were doing, and I explained it all in the videos many times, but a year and a half or so ago, when my son moved out, Joyce and I turned his room into a workout room for when it's crappy weather. But we had a treadmill, an exercise bike, and a weight bench in his bedroom. And but then, okay, when my son comes into town, we have to move everything and set up a bed for him. And Joyce just said, let's just turn it back into a bedroom. And so I had a lot of stuff that was stored up there that had to get out of the way. Same room where Artie stays when he comes into town. And we threw a bunch of boxes underneath, and we managed to snag some wires and either burn out or prevent things from working. So I have been repairing some of the lighting I destroyed. And so, be that as it may, I had some old LED light strings, and so I replaced the entire light line on the bus station, and I still had some stuff left over, so I just started throwing it in random places just to get an idea how it's going to work with the lighting. So some things were too dull, some things were too bright, but that was the idea. Get an idea of how much light will I need to put in
Because like these buildings, which were the last things, where I only had a strand about 5 feet long, so only 1 or 2 lights got into each building, and that's not going to light those buildings up very well because these are rather low lights. Hey, Sir Eric from Von Don Eisenbahn, welcome in. Held hostage at work again. It was that hostage situation was so tragic for me, Eric, that I vowed never to be held hostage at work again. So I retired, resigned, quit, whatever. So yeah, it's just, and the thing is, there are people, their hobby is a passion in the way their work is. And their hobby is a reflection of their work. A lot of electricians, so they come home and they like to play with electrics and electronics and so forth. My hobby, I'm the opposite. I want my hobby to be as uninvolved as possible. In other words, I can just play it. So I do things as simple as I can. I'm not going to spend hours trying to make my miniature version of Miniature Wonderland. I want things, slap a few buildings on and call it good. And then, yeah, I kind of like some lighting. That's not contrary to my viewpoint. But if I'm going to light up the buildings, I'm going to find the quickest, cheapest, easiest way to do it. So I get these little things. Make sure, number one, if you're going to ever try this, make sure it's the battery pack kind. Don't get the ones that plug into the wall unless you're going to plug them into the wall later. But I just get these little mini fairy lights. Okay, and these are battery operated, so voila, they're on. And what I do is decide how many I need for a building, or in some cases, I'll light up several buildings in a row with one strand, and I'll just put as many lights in there until I go, okay, that's bright enough. And then once I've measured how much I need, I will cut it off. Now, this is a short strand. This is only a 10-foot strand. But it was $5. And so what I do is I then, when they're battery operated, they're usually only 2 lines. There's only 2 lines that run between each light. Let me see if I can separate these. The hands already do not want to cooperate. Can I get there? Right there. Baby. Yeah, there we go. All right. So you want to make sure there are only 2 wires going between each light. And then just like any of those other things, you could just cut this to length. You cut this and then you sand down to get rid of the protective coating on the wire. You sand it down. And then I just, solder them on to something like this. I get these for about $2 each. And it's a USB. And you got your 2 lines. And you just figure out which side is left, which side is positive, which side is your high. And then you just solder it on here and, of course, cover it, with your shrink. And then it's ready to be plugged in. So I can have 8 or 9 buildings lit up with 1 strand of lights and 1 USB plug, and then I just have a big USB outlet strip down here, and then it's just bam, bam, bam. So the train station is one. The bus station is a separate one. And then the lights on top are actually 12 volts, so they go to a plug-in, the post lights. And then on this side, the station is just temporary. The other one is on a strand, and I just have another USB line over here. And it's cheap, it's cheerful, it works. Now, some people are more persnickety than others about that, but it's what I do. Hey, Sir John Benicki. And by the way, earlier I saw Titi Ari was here. So hello, Sir Titi Ari. Bonsoir. Yeah, and yes, EFO, they do, and you could do that as well. But again, I just I usually buy just one long strand with one battery pack. So I try to get 20, 30 foot with one battery pack, but they had a deal, and these were all like $3 for the line and the battery pack, and I bought 4 of them. So I got 40 feet for about $16. Distracted by work. I'm catching up with the chat just to see if anybody's got other questions or ideas. So my work laptop is 7 feet from my bed, so that's my commute. Gotcha. So yeah, I just I mean, if you I don't have anything against good friend Greg from Midsummer Rail. You haven't joined his channel. He's down in Australia. He's in the outer suburbs of Melbourne. He does amazing lighting on his N scale layout, which he has since torn down and is rebuilding. But he does amazing lighting, and that's awesome. I'm lazy. I don't want to put that work into it, I guess. I just want it quick and easy. Slap it in. Yep, good enough. And I'm that type of person. Good enough. When it comes to my hobby, good enough. I actually kind of got mocked on a live stream, and I've actually quit that channel and in a little bit of a temper because I made a comment about that. I'm just happy, and they kind of said, that's your problem. You shouldn't settle for good enough. You should always be striving to be better and become better. And it's like, dude, that was my occupation. When I coached, when I played sports, when I taught, everything was about perfection. How can I get better? With my hobby, I don't want that pressure anymore. I just want to enjoy it. And put as much effort as I feel I need to, and not an ounce more, because I'm supposed to enjoy it, not make another job of it. And if somebody else has a higher threshold where they are passionate and got to have everything just right and everything there, that's fine. I don't judge that negatively, but I don't like to be judged negatively for my viewpoint either. But I enjoy it, which is why I share this with people. Hey guys, look what I did, and I get the negative Nellies that will come in and, well, you should have done this and you should have done that. Dude, I'm testing. Did you read? Did you listen? I said, I'm experimenting. I'm testing. But some people don't get that. It's, they are so into it from day one. So in my hobby, in my professional life, in my sports life, I was a perfectionist. But in my hobby, my number one goal is to enjoy it and be happy. And if I'm stressing out because something's not good enough, now that doesn't mean I know there's a level I have to maintain. Like I have to maintain my logos. I have to clean my track, blah, blah. Well, hello, Sir Brian. And yeah, again, I will share those over and over. I've been doing it for years, but I'm certainly not the first one to do it. I don't know who I copied it off of. It was long before I was into model trains, but when I would build dioramas for my wargaming and want lighting in them, or we wanted to do, some scenic stuff on the battlefield, like here's a lightning blast or something like that, just grab some of these LED lights, flicker lights, whatever. In some cases, you do a little bit over that. Oh, look at that. That's cool. You're a professional amateur. Well, I'm an amateur professional. So I just always call them negative Nellies, the professional guys. Anyhow, I can babble the rest of that. I'm sorry if I'm not getting the trains going right away. I do have one delivery came in last night. It's a little late, or it's really early. It's either a month late or it's 11 months early, but this came in last night. This is Märklin's startup. This is their cheap level. This is a Märklin startup Christmas train. Speaking of which, another one of my spare plugs. I've actually got the Loco out because I've already installed it. I'll do a video on all this because I am buying a bunch of Christmas locomotives. I have got 2 now. I've got a 3rd one coming next week, Tuesday. I've been picking up Christmas locomotives because beginning next year Christmas, instead of doing Steamer Palooza at Christmas, I want to have actual Christmas themed trains. I know I had the cars going, but I want to have the locomotives all Christmas up too. So I've got this one, and you guys saw the Class 120 last week or the week before. This has the white track and everything in it, which is even cool. Even missed Orthodox. Yeah, I missed Orthodox Christmas too. Indeed, John. That's what it's about. It's about enjoying. And if enjoying it for you is really working very hard and getting under the table and doing all that wiring because that's what you love, that's great. This is a problem a lot of people have, especially I think in America, but elsewhere. Yeah, I'm looking into it. EFO, I thought maybe get a couple of Christmas locomotives for the either HO with a Christmas theme or find some sort of Hornby or Joyce. Joyce does a Coca-Cola Christmas train. But again, something cheap. I don't want to spend a fortune for something I'm only going to run a couple of times a year at most. But anyhow, I did that, and yeah, I'll get on that. So let's get to the trains we're running today, and let's give them in motion because I've already been babbling for 20 minutes. All right. So on the layout today, EFOS played a little alliteration and announced it is tin plate time today. And yeah, it kind of is. I wasn't thinking tin plate specifically. I just wanted sort of something that you had seen 1969, 1970, but even that isn't exactly accurate because I think those buses were kind of out of service. I could be wrong. And I don't know if the Rheingold 103, I think in 69, 70, it would have been an EO3 and looked a little different. But I wanted to get something that was late 60s, early 70s. And it wound up being a lot of tin plates, obviously, because most of my trains that date to that era are from Herb or Horst, and they're tin plates. So in line 1, we've got the classic, one of the all-time great German diesel locomotives, the V200. And it is running some express train coaches. You've seen me run them. Those blue and greens with the little red restaurant car in the middle. I do love those. I think they look awesome. In line 2, I am running my TEE Rheingold with a Class 103. One of the really nice ones. If I could get them in motion. We'll get them going here. I'm being very careful. I'm trying not to go too fast. And then, hey, why not a couple of steamers? Steamers were still running in the 60s and 70s in Germany. So we got a Class 44 pulling some empty flatbeds and a coal wagon behind it. So let's get him in motion. And a little bit later, we'll see if he wants to, whoa, Tex, not so fast. Whoops. I had a little thumb jerk with my shaky hands and shot him off at 120 miles an hour. Thank goodness there were no passengers because they'd all be suing for whiplash after that. Dude, you're flying around. Slow down. Why are you going crazy there, V20? Or V200, I mean. V20. All right, and then we've got, oh, by the way, that was pulled by Class 44. This is the Class 50, and it's pulling some tankers. So we got a little tanker train going. Now I got to keep on that last blue Arl tanker because I just added that the last second. I fixed its coupler, but it was acting up. So I got to keep an eye, make sure it doesn't suddenly pop. And then the back, I got an E41, E410. So we'll get that moving as soon as I can get to the right screen. There you go. And then way in back, you already saw it, but we got some buses running. We got this little rail bus. And it's two little cars from the 1961, I think that model is. It's one of the oldest models in terms of how old since it was made. I've got a couple of items that are from 61. Yes, indeed, it can, but even at a fast acceleration, that was lightning speed. Yes, Christoph, the 103 TEE. Hello, Sir Simon from Simon's Train World over in Denmark. Hope you're well. Okay, so let's go to the floor and see. I am running the classic UK locomotives on the floor, my two classics. So we have got, whoops, I bumped the camera there. I have got the Mallard. The Mallard is moving. And the Duchess always seems to need a little push to get going in the morning. Oh, there she goes. She heard me coming, so she kicked it into gear. So how is everybody? Not just Dino, but we like to know how Dino's doing, but everybody. How's everybody doing? But I do have some more of these lights that I am going to stick in to some more buildings just to create enough lighting and ambience that I'll do some dark mode in a couple of weeks. But I might wait until I get Delmenhorst lined up, because once this stuff comes in and I'm happy with the bus area, then I'm going to go ahead and take all these buildings here. All these buildings will come off of Delmenhorst, off this table, and I will draw in the road where the market square is going to be, and then start laying the buildings out where they should be. And is that Miller? Is a squirrel. Hello, Sir Miller. Oh, nope, that's a different one, and that's a new name. I saw a squirrel, and then I saw somebody say, hello, Miller. Well, welcome, Sir Miller. Let's make you a knight of the rhomboid table. I now declare you a knight of the rhomboid table. You're now a knight of the rhomboid table. You can post a link to your channel if you have one, or a channel you like, as long as it's hobby related. It doesn't have to be model train hobby. It can be comedy. It can be history. It's just no politics, no religion. Oh, is the Duchess dead already? She's being a bit stubborn today. I've been a little bit worried about her. I finally got her moving quick enough, but all right, Duchess. I don't care if you think you're royalty. Somebody derailed. Yep, somebody's coming. Oh. Aha! She is not quite railed. What's up, Duchess? Come back here. I tell you, Nobility are such drama queens. All right, let's go back up. And first one of her wheels wasn't. No, yes, I'm sorry. Yes, it is tender driven. Aren't most UK steam locomotives tender driven? I think most UK 00 scale locomotives are tender driven. So yes, it is tender driven, but the middle big wheel was not railed properly. Although it was when I test ran it earlier today. But, and then yes, one of the main drive axles on the tender was also not running well today. The new ones are now loco driven. Okay. Up until the 90s. All right. Because, you know, I'm more familiar or a lot more familiar with the German models, or let's not even go there. I'm familiar with Märklin, and I say familiar. I don't know Märklin. I'm familiar with it. It's what I run the most. But all my Märklins and all my steam locomotives are Märklin. They're all loco driven, not tender driven. Oh, all of a sudden that bus is doing like 90 miles an hour. Yes, indeed. Hello, Heath. But no, we're doing fine. On this channel, we don't blame anybody but me. I did give everything a bit more thorough testing. Just, you know, I'm jinxing myself, although I didn't jinx myself last week, but we have done, we've now gone 2 weeks in a row without any gremlins at all. And 4 of the last 6 live streams really have been gremlin free. But we had a string of them for a couple of months. And then 2 weeks ago, well, 3 weeks ago now, we had that really bad day where I had 3 different trains acting up, and it was different issues with each train. But one train was causing all the issues because that car was acting up and going goofy on the points, that one wagon, the little passenger coach. Everybody's warmed up and they're running a little faster now, so let me start slowing these guys down a bit, especially the steamers. How's the 44 going? He's still going kind of fast, but we'll slow him down. We'll slow the I want to slow that 50 down just a bit. Man, 50. Okay. He's doing fine. 44 is going to fire. Let me cut back up with chat. Miller, I have been to Eisenbahn-Dörfler. I have been there. It's an amazing shop. It's huge, and obviously you know it. It is packed. It is floor-to-ceiling shelves, and the aisles are just wide enough for one fat person to get through. If one big guy is coming through one way, everybody else has to leave that aisle to get through. Yeah, I was at Eisenbahn-Dörfler in 2017 or 2019. I've only been there the one time, but it's an amazing place. It's funny. I have a lot of funny stories from when I was there because Joyce and I spent a few hours there. Well, I should a couple. He'd get through his legs. Yes, and I've been to Gleis Elf a few times. Miller, it sounds like you've been to Germany. I've been to Germany a lot. I spent the month of June in Germany every year from 2003 to 2017. Then I took 2018 off, and then 2019. No, I took 2020 and 21 off. And then in 2022, my wife and I went to the UK instead. And then 23, we were in Germany. 24, we went to Australia to visit our friend Artie, Aus America, and Greg and others who are down there. And then this year, 2020, well, this past year, 2025, we spent the month of June in Germany again. Oh, well, that's cool, Ifo. Hello, Bohemian, another fellow German train, American guy running German train. Okay, so yeah, Eisendorfler is an amazing shop. Although when Joyce and I were there were 4 guys that worked, and you had the young guy, very friendly, very eager to help. The next guy above him, willing to help, but wants to make a sale. The third guy who's like, I'll help you, but it better be important. And then the fourth guy, I don't talk to you unless you're a professional modeler. The old man, he was like, he does not talk. He was a grumpy guy. He will not, if you come up and ask him a question that he thinks you should know, he lets you know you should know. It's like, dude, I just began this hobby a couple of months ago. So why don't you know everything already then? I don't know. Yes, we have been to Prague. We've been to Prague, and we've been to Bad Detchen, and we've been to a little town, Srensko. So we've been to the Czech Republic 3 times, or Czechia as it's now called. Okay. Miller, I have been to every one of those cities multiple times except for Cochem. We've only been to Cochem once, and that was this past summer. And we loved it. What a beautiful town. Lovely people, beautiful town. We toured the castle, but just the castle is so scenic. It's on top of a hill right next to the Mosel River, and the town is beautiful leading up to it. Joy's got some beautiful pictures. All right, let's change cameras here again. Just missed him. All right, let's catch this guy coming at you. The V200 coming on the Delmenhorst side. And then the low view, still on the Delmenhorst side. Coming at you here. And the bridge view. Ooh, got 3 trains in that camera. Well, workstation cam just got underneath. And here we'll catch it. So I just zipped through all those cameras just to drive your eyes crazy. But that way you kind of follow the train around to the, and now it'll come up in the back corner. There it is, coming up that. Line 1, as I call it. Now, Miller, nothing on my layout is prototypical, other than I try to run prototypical trains. But even then, I fudge the lines because I don't even know sometimes what's prototypical. Hey, Sir 156 Andrew, hello. Well, if you do, Miller, you would beat me. I don't think I've ever heard of GP9. I can't even tell you the one house we lived in the north of Toledo, which we had railroad lines in the backyard without a fence. I can't tell you the stupid things I did as a 6 and 7-year-old with that train line running right behind my house. If you knew, you'd beat my ass now like my dad did then. We did some stupid stunts. Survived. It was still stupid. But back then it was Chesapeake and Baltimore and Ohio. A lot of that went through. Exactly. But I do run Central. I emphasize Central European trains, although I have American, British, Austrian, Czech, French now. I've got a French steamer and some cars to go with it. Actually, I got a couple of French steamers. I got a 231. Well, I'm sorry, a 131 and a 241. A 231 and a 241. I'll get it right yet. And I have a Danish train. Well, you see, Andy, why did I move? Because one, I had no choice in the matter. My dad moved, and at 6 or 7 years old, if I wanted to be fed, I need to follow my dad and mom and the rest of the family. Trust me, even at 6 or 7, the thought of they could move and I would go somewhere else was in my mind, but nothing to do with the trains. So, you know, that was it. You know, dad moved, I had to go because I did not, even though my mom already had 231. Do I have an Italian train? Yes, Christoph. I forgot the Italian train. I've got the Italian, the Trenanota, the night train. But I run, because the thing is, the house we moved to, this is 1972, so I was 8 when we moved. The house we moved into is the house my mother lives in. And to me, it's where life really took a drastic downward turn. I mean, probably a lot of those things would happen because my mom was crazy. Even as a kid, we knew my mom had mental issues. But it was once my sisters hit puberty and the house my dad moved into was a much smaller house, but he owned it instead of renting. It was a garbage house. My bedroom that I shared with my brother was a closet, literally a closet. No, that is not the Romanian flag. What you're actually seeing is, let me see, which camera can I do it? Let's go to, that is the flag of Delmenhorst. That is the flag of Delmenhorst, Germany, the city that I spent a lot of time in Germany. Yes, similar colors, but it is the state flag of Bavaria, the red, gold, and blue. That, or not Bavaria, Niedersachsen, Lower Saxony. That is the Niedersachsen flag, and then the logo of the city of Delmenhorst over it. So all the cities of Delmenhorst, or all the cities of Niedersachsen, will have their Wappen or symbol, their sign on that flag. So, yep. Now would be a good time to insert ads. I'm not. Wusste nicht. Delmenhorst ist in der Nähe von Bremen. Westlich. 15 Kilometer westlich von Bremen. About 15 kilometers west of Bremen. All right, let's see if this will happen. 1, 2. What you're getting at is how cool for a barbecue. We still have cool barbecues. No, I was a German teacher the last half of my career. I taught German, and I got invited to start an exchange program with the city of Delmenhorst because they had just become sister cities in 2002. So Toledo and Delmenhorst had become sister cities. And so every year from 2002 to 2016, or 2003 to 2016, I took students to Delmenhorst, Germany. And while we were there, we did field trips to other places like Hamburg, Osnabrück, Bremen, Goslar, to do some Berlin for a couple of days, to teach my students the history and culture of Germany, the good and the bad. And then that came to an end in 2016. And, but my wife and I were still putting the money aside, having it deducted from our pay to pay for the trip. And so when we couldn't get enough students to go in 2017, we said, all right, let's just go ourselves. We've never gone on a real trip by ourselves. You know, we've had weekend trips where we went whitewater rafting or went up to Niagara Falls or something like that, where my parents or her parents would babysit our kids and we'd go off for a 3 or 4 day weekend by ourselves. But yeah, so I ran the exchange program. And so from 2017, 2018, and 2019, just my wife and I went. And then, of course, COVID hit in 2020. So travel bans came in. 2021, we still couldn't go. And we had already planned on going in 2022 to the UK. So we just kept that because Joyce said, hey, can we go somewhere different instead of Germany for a year? Like, yeah, I guess. Well, hello, Andrew's mom. Hello, Sir Ray and Dame Tammy and Sir Artie in the background. Well, Miller, it's true. I mean, the United States, we have our good, bad, and ugly history too. But I'm an American. I love my country. And that's the last I'll say about anything before it turns political. So please don't mention any. But yeah. But I am 3/4 German. 3 of my 4 grandparents were born in Germany. So I grew up. I had a ton of relatives that my grandparents brought over that were German as well. So there's a lot of German speakers. My dad's older brother, much older brother, married a German woman after World War II. My uncle, my dad's older brother, my Uncle Dale, he flew bombers. I want to say B-24s, not B-17s, but I do forget. And he's been dead for 20 years, so I couldn't ask him anyhow. But he stayed in the Army Air Corps after the war, and he did the Berlin airlift. So he was stationed in Berlin, and he met a German girl there, and then he did the Berlin airlift. And then when he finally decided he had had enough of the military life, he married her and brought her surviving family members over. So I had my Aunt Frida, who taught me some German. I had relatives of my name Dodge, of course, is an English name. But my grandmother Dodge was Bulgata, and she was Prussian. And she had all these relatives that had come over with her, because she came over as a kid. But her brothers, her sisters, cousins, when I was little, they were around. So a lot of German was spoken around me. So I spoke German as a kid. I don't know. I'm looking at mine, and you guys have spanners. I don't know why you're looking at shields. Mine says my 2 things show spanners. Actually, all 3 of my screens are showing spanners. Ah, okay. And I believe Sir Chris, the model train aficionado, is here. Hello, Sir Chris and Dame Amy, because the opposite of a sir is Dame. I am in Ohio. I am in the dying city of Toledo, Ohio. Most famous for two things. If you ever watched the American TV show MASH, the cross-dressing Arabic guy, Corporal Klinger, born and raised in Toledo and talked about Toledo all the time on MASH, although some of his things were anachronistic. So I am in Toledo, Ohio. If you ever look at a map of the United States and you see that there's a part of the United States that looks like a giant mitten, that's called Michigan. And the border between my state of Ohio and that mitten is right there at the wrist. So Detroit, Michigan is right there. Detroit, Michigan's right there at the base of the thumb. And Toledo is right there on the wrist. But we're in Ohio, and this is Michigan. But if you ever look at a map of the United States, does that 44 have a moving center cylinder? I can't tell while it's moving. I mean, right now, whether it is moving or not, it's moving because it's going through. I'm going to say no. Hey, there's Sir Greg. Great to have you. Great to have you here. All right, let's move on to... Oh, good timing. Got a couple of trains right there, right in view. And the Duchess of Hamilton, being an old gal, needed a little bit of prompting and spurring to get going in the morning, but she got herself sorted and is running smoothly now. Mashed potato, please, new chippy chat. I don't know what they put in your coffee, Andrew, but I hope you brought enough for the whole room. So I was an English and history teacher for the first half of my teaching career. And have I had problems with Detroit gangs? No. It's such an exaggeration. It is such an exaggeration. Detroit is not nearly as violent a city as media and people promote. To be honest, there's a couple of towns in Tennessee that are much more violent and have more gang-related deaths than Detroit. Detroit, like any big urban city in America, does have some tough urban areas, but no, the Detroit gangs it's not there. Hello, Signal Cabin. But again, that'll turn into politics. Yes, I've been to a chippy. If you're saying a fish and chip joint, Joyce and I hit several chippies while we were in the UK. Joyce did not enjoy most of her fish and chips, or she got sick of it. I did enjoy it because I hate fish. The only way I'll eat fish if it's white fish and it's deep fried. McDonald's fish is about as close to fish as I'll eat. But if you batter and deep fry it, then I'll eat it. Batter dip it and deep fry it, then I'll eat fish. Because I'll eat anything batter dipped and deep fried. Wiener Schnitzel, yes. Camembert cheese, batter dipped, deep fried, delicious, especially with a little cranberry jelly to go with it, cranberry sauce. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you're in Glasgow. Now see, my wife and I were planning on going to the UK this year and staying in the Glasgow area. We were going to go up to Inverness and then come down to Glasgow. Unfortunately, as we tried to look at flights to the UK, they were almost double the cost for a flight to Germany. So we had decided we were going to go to Germany again this year instead of the UK and wait till next year when Joyce retires and gets her big bonus, and then we're not going to worry about the cost of airline. But yeah, but now, as it stands right now, we're not traveling at all. We might do a week and a half trip in Canada because we want to go up to Toronto and a couple of things. But we reserve the right to change our minds. But right now, because of many things, again, politics, Joyce is just a little too nervous to go to travel, both trying to leave the country and trying to get back in, as well as things that might happen while we're over there. Halcyon days. Yeah, it will never happen. I will never eat pickled herring. I will not eat fish, and I will not eat anything pickled. I do not like the taste of anything pickled. I love peanut butter. If you pickle it, I ain't eating it. I love a cheeseburger. You pickle it, I ain't eating it. I like potatoes. You pickle it, I ain't eating it. Why you want to take something delicious by itself, or in your case, herring, which I already don't like, and then say, hey, I got an idea. Let's make it taste like stale horse piss. I kid because I love. Hey, there's Sir Craig. How you doing, Craig? Our cheapest flight is Detroit, where we fly out of, to Frankfurt. And we've looked at flying to Ireland and then hopping over. We could save $200 if we flew all the way to Copenhagen and then back to the UK, but it's still $1,000, $1,500 more than our flight to Germany would cost. It's just too expensive right now to fly to the UK. We feel bad because we were already discussing we're going to have a big meetup with all our UK friends and see how many could show up. We feel very guilty, but if we pay the cost of the airfare, we can't afford to do anything while we're there because it's double the cost. And by the way, airfare was one thing. Room and board was becoming very expensive. We were not finding inexpensive places because Joyce and I travel on the cheap. We want a private bedroom, private shower, private place to sit and eat. So we don't like a bed and breakfast where we're sharing a house with other people. We want our own little apartment, our own little space, even if it's a basement in some other apartment complex, as long as it's our personal space and not somebody's bedroom they're loaning out. Hey there, Sir Artie. Yeah, and by the time you add that all up, it gets expensive. So we figure we'll just go to Germany. If we travel overseas this year, we'll go to Germany this year, and then we're going to work in the UK somehow next year when my wife retires. Hey, Sir Ray of Central 127, how are you? Got here precisely when you meant to. Cool. And hello, Sir Jeff from Jeff's N-Scale Layout. Have you been able to sort out the problems with your turnouts, your switches, your points, whatever you want to call them? That could start a fight right there. What do you call? You call it a point, a switch, a turnout. And somebody always goes, well, technically all three are different things. Yeah, but everybody refers to them as one or the other. Nobody says the point on the turnout. It's always the turnout, the point, or the switch. No, you can't tag on the phone. You can't tag on the phone. You got to be on a computer. So I rarely use my phone to chat. I usually am on a laptop computer. Weichenstrasse. Yeah. Weichenstrasse if you want to go German. Getting some videos planned. Well, that's cool. Points. Biff. Boy. Oh. Are you pondering what I'm pondering, Pinky? I think so, Brian, but I mean, me and Pippi Loudstockings. Imagine the children. And hello, Sir Brian from Clintonville. Yeah, I see you've been posting stuff. I at least try. I miss 90% of the short videos people post because I get 10,000 of them and I can't keep up. It's enough to keep up with videos. And Friday's a fun day because Friday is the day I spend a lot of my day plotting and really preparing the live stream. So I don't watch a lot of YouTube except when I first get up in the morning. And that's when all my friends post videos on Friday. I don't know, maybe it's so I'll talk about them. So Andy, cool video. Ray, cool video. I haven't seen Robert's yet. So sorry, Robert Trade Set. Sir Robert, I haven't watched your video yet. I have a lot to catch up on. Well, I do what I can. I sadly, I tend to have notifications, sound notifications turned off, so I don't catch when you're live. So I will be doing something like today you were live, but I actually spent a little time in Steve Childer's Friday afternoon lunch stream, which I always visit. Although I wound up having I talked to Jean Ricard earlier in the day, and then somebody else called me, and I wound up talking to them for a little bit. So I missed the last 20 minutes of Steve's live stream. And then I saw that Dave from Scott Rails had a marathon morning live stream today. All right. Well, Miller, thank you for stopping by. It was great to have you here. Really appreciate you stopping in and hope we did something that makes you want to come back. Was I a cool teacher? Depends on what student you ask. I would say most of my students liked me, but I had plenty who did not like me. You can never be all popular. But I also had a reputation that I dealt with tough kids. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4". I weighed anywhere from 225 to 300 pounds through my teaching career. I was up and down with my weight, would get really big, especially after my 40s. Working on your hideout already. But yeah, I mean, I was consistently, every year the students would have most popular teacher. And I was always near the top. And considering I did not get, I taught in a school of 1,500 kids and I only taught 150 of them. Where some teachers would teach 500, 600. But the ones that had me and liked me were very vocal about making sure 6'4" and full of muscle. Yeah, sometimes. I was never a big bodybuilder. I worked out, I stayed in shape, but I never tried to get bulky. I was never into that. I always like to be, I don't want to say lean, but I wanted to be dexterous. And the more you bulk up and the shoulders, you may be stronger, but you're not as flexible. And I always like being dexterous. You work out because of your hip surgery. I've had two I've had two shoulder surgeries. Let's change cameras again. We've been on this one for a while. Well, let's go to view for a few minutes. Although I know everybody on the phone hates this. No, I was always in good shape. I was always, until I hit about 40. And then I stopped coaching sports. I stopped playing sports. And I kept eating like I was still playing sports, but I wasn't working out the way I used to. And I wasn't playing. And then I started the exchange program, which took away a lot of the sports I played because I spent all year, working on the trip for my students. All right, Monsville, that's right. It is Saturday where you are, and you are heading out. Well, Mons, it's not a good trip. So I can't wish you the best, if you know what I'm saying. That's a lot of baggage, and I don't mean what you've packed. Yeah, so as a wildland firefighter, you were probably in very good shape. But Joyce was an athlete, and I played sports, but Joyce was the real athlete. Oh, I think that's a great thing to do, Jeff, is to honor the firefighters. If your channel name is different from your YouTube, yeah, you just change your handle name. Yeah, and then have it match your channel, have your channel match your handle name. No, I have no desire to change my channel name. I have no need. People say, oh, come on, Anthony, you're not an outsider. No, I still feel an outsider. I think I will always feel like an outsider. I'm an American running German trains, and 50% of my subscribers are British guys into Dapol. You can't get much weirder than that. And for a lot of Märklin people, I know are very, very, a lot of the German channels I used to follow, they're very, this is how you do it. You will do it this way. And hey, Sir Aaron, welcome in. No such thing as being late. This is not a scheduled party. Okay, it's scheduled. I get it. It is scheduled. But this is a pub with very limited opening hours. So you come in when you can come in, and hopefully we're here and open. But my whole life, I'm a lefty in a right-handed world. I'm a person that now is into model trains, and I could have cared less about model trains until 10 years ago. And then suddenly I got into it and it became an addiction. It's like heroin. More like oh, that's your fault. I've got beer. Gandalf always has something to say, but meddle not in the affairs of wizards, for they are quick to anger. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings geek, a huge Tolkien geek. All right, Monsville, take care. I just hope it's not the worst. Jim commented on one of my videos a couple of days ago, so he's around. But yeah, he hasn't posted anything in a while. But he will do that now and then. Jim from Hover Motion will suddenly be very busy at work and other things going on, or a home rebuild project. And like a lot of guys, he loses his mojo. When he comes back, he'll say, yeah, I lost my mojo for a while. Work was busy, very heavy with work, had this project going on. Sometimes his job has him travel where he's at. So he has commented on a couple of my videos, but yeah, he has not posted a video. He did post a short a couple of weeks ago, and I think that's the last thing he. So if you're watching somewhere, Jim, obviously Many of us are thinking of you. Yeah, there's only one problem there, Ray. You're talking to Frodo Baggins, and he's the one not here. The knights are here, but Frodo's not. Yeah, Tom, sadly, it's up to Monsville to talk about what's going on, but there's no way this ends happily. It's just how difficult will it be? And yeah, and please, everybody, don't be afraid to advertise your channel. I know a lot of channels frown on that, but I will gladly claim, and I'll wait till somebody proves me wrong, but I will gladly claim that since I started my live stream 6 years ago, I was the first model train YouTuber that had a live stream where I gave everybody ops. I gave everybody ops. Because back then, only 1 or 2 people would be ops, and sometimes they wouldn't show up for a live stream and there'd be problems, and people that got ops were being treated special. And I was just like, no, I'm egalitarian. Everybody's welcome. Everybody gets to be. And I somehow managed to recruit a great bunch of people. I don't care how long I've been doing this, it never sets in that I can do a live stream, that I can just sit my fat ass in front of a camera, run a couple of trains, and 40 to 50 other people will show up. It blows my mind. Now, mind you, I've seen channels like Jenny Kirk's Monday Club. I mean, God, how many does she? The last time I popped into Jenny Kirk, there were like 600 people. And I'm sure because her channel's so much bigger now that she gets more people. So does she get 1,000 people in the Monday Club live streams? Love Mark from Donegal Dad. I had the pleasure of meeting him at Getz in 2024. Magical time. Got to meet him and his one daughter, Rachel, I believe it was. And Mark and I have talked on Facebook and exchanged emails at times, sort of like Dino and what am I running? Okay. It's probably, well, let's see who goes by. Holy cow, that bus is now running at like 100 miles an hour. Those passengers like, wait, that's my stop. Oh, we passed it again. Wait, that's my stop again. Yeah, let's slow his butt down. Dude, what is up with hyperdrive? Let's slow you down a bit. All right, that right there, that is a Class 50 pulling a bunch of, that's a Class 50 steamer pulling a bunch of 1960s, 1970s era tankers, because that's kind of the theme here. Late 60s to mid 70s trains. And then coming at you is a Class 50 pulling a rake of flatbeds that are empty. He needs a load. I need to get off my lazy butt and start buying or putting some loads on some of those flatbeds. Hey, Sir Pedro. Yeah, sadly, there's always... Did it go plaid? Yes, it did go plaid. We're live, but we're watching us live. See, that was then now, but that's now. Well, hello, Sir Chase from Chase Railways. Great to have you here. So let's see. And you saw the little rail bus. I'm waiting to see who comes by. Coming around, that is a Class E41 or E410. And it's pulling just a rake of early commuter cars from the 60s and early 70s. That's a TEE Rheingold pulled by a 103, the crimson and cream color. And then that's a V200, one of the classics of German railways of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. That V200. That is a classic. Anybody that does Märklin trains that has a lot of Märklin trains will usually have a V200 somewhere in their collection. So I finally got one. They wouldn't even let me use the word Märklin unless I had a V200. You've heard about Rudolph not being allowed to play in the reindeer games. I wasn't allowed to play in the Märklin games unless I had a V200. They were cruel and brutal people. I just wanted to run some German trades, and they made me buy all these trades. And I keep saying that, hoping Joyce will buy into it. No, my other hobbies are war games. I still love wargaming. I used to do a lot of writing. Now I just do comedic writing. I've got to get back to every time I say, okay, this weekend I'm going to get back to writing Matt Clark, something happens and the weekend's gone, or something bad happens to somebody in our family or to people we know, and then the mojo loses again, because I have to be in a frame of mind to write. And I had written the first 7 scenes, and then by the time I got to scene 4, I realized I wanted to change some things in scene 7. I started changing them, and that meant, I've got to change a couple of things in the plot, and then all kinds of bad things happened, and I just lost the mood to write. I've got a bunch of half-started parody songs that I would like to sit down and finish, but every time I try to sit down and get in the mood and start writing comedy again, something seems to happen, and I just go, oh. And I don't even have a writer's block anymore. I have an emotional block, because I need to be in a certain very funny frame of mind, and I just have not been in that. Battleship, fancy it, Anthony? No, slightly more advanced wargaming. No, even if I collected tools, my wife and kids would have left them out in the yard somewhere to rust. So I have just enough tools to do the job, and every now and then I take on a bigger job and go, I need a new one. That, like Artie was here, and I haven't used my multimeter in a couple of years. And I've forgotten I broke it. That when I had finished the job I was working on, I went to pick it up, and the cord was wrapped on something, and I yanked it, and I took off part of the cord. So Artie's like, Anthony, you got a multimeter? And I said, yeah. And I went and got it, and then went, it's broke. He was able to get it to work, but then he's like, let's go out. And he tried to buy me one. I said, no, I'll buy myself one. You don't need to buy this. This is something I should have in my bag anyhow. So I bought a new multimeter. And then just anything Lord of the Rings related, except the movies. I hate the movies. I prefer the 1978 cartoon over the Peter Jackson pieces of crap. Visually stunning, but they took everything Tolkien was trying to say in his books and threw it out the window. And I've had great arguments with other Tolkien fans. The movies are just like the books. And I'm like, I'll start with chapter 1, and let me point out everything they changed. It's not that they left things out. I don't care if you leave certain things out. It's when you completely change who a character is, what their motivation is, or the message Tolkien was trying to send with that. Oh my God, in the movies, Frodo's dropping the ring every time he turns around. Oops, I dropped the ring. Oops, I dropped the ring. Oops, I dropped the ring. It's like, that didn't happen in the books. That thing was on his chain around him, and nobody was even allowed to see it. But in the movies, he keeps dropping it. Hey, there's Curly. You just finished listening to the audiobooks. Was that the set that Andy Serkis still did some of the voices? Yeah, well, everybody got mad at the Hobbit movies. Well, for everybody who loves the Hobbit and said these movies changed the Hobbit, they did. And I never even watched. I saw the first of the Hobbit movies and said, nope. First of all, the wizard Radagast the Brown is not in the books The Hobbit. And secondly, they put him in there and make him a complete idiot. They're wrong on both those counts. Yeah, so after the first one, I just wanted to see how bad. And I didn't even go to the theaters. I waited for it to come out on DVD and bought the DVD. And I went, yeah, I figured he would do this crappy job. But it's the same. He did. It was no different than what he did to Lord of the Rings. I'm so surprised people responded so negatively to The Hobbit when he did the exact same thing to Lord of the Rings. But yeah, I was just talking to Joyce. We were talking, and it's like I have done more work on this layout in the last 11 months than I had done in the previous 4 years. If I were to go back to a live stream exactly a year from today, you'd still see pink and brown foam everywhere. The buildings in the same places they had been for 4 years. And now it's green grass everywhere, and I've got the Fowler car system closer than ever. Well, the series was so bad. Again, I watched the first couple episodes to see. I was like, nope. You have no idea what you're doing. Because the Tolkien family, a lot of people don't know this, except if you listen to my live streams when I talk about it. When Peter Jackson was first doing the movies, he was calling it J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, and that's how it was being advertised, J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. The family saw the script and some of the first cuts, and they said, get our dad, get our grandpa's name off of that. That is not his Lord of the Rings. That's yours. So it's just The Lord of the Rings or Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. Because, yeah, the family disowned the movies. They were like, that is so against what our father was trying to say and do. You've totally, I mean, the one son, Christopher, or was it Christopher? The one surviving son said, "You pissed on my father's work." They were not happy with Peter Jackson. The Tolkien family was not happy with him. All layouts and most models are works in progress. Yep. Yes, Andrew, I've seen all 3 of the Lord of the Ring movies, and I've seen all 3 cuts. The original theatrical, the extended, and then the second editor's cuts. And they're still all crap. Why didn't you put this scene in? Well, we didn't have time. Well, you added this 45-minute scene that's not in the books. Why didn't you take that scene out and put this scene in? Oh, J.R.R. Tolkien would have rolled over and wouldn't have sold it. J.R.R. Tolkien was so protective of the rights that the Beatles at one time were considering doing The Lord of the Rings as their 3rd movie. And when Tolkien got Whisper, he sent a letter saying, no, this will not happen. So I am knowing Christopher Tolkien, whom I have talked to. I never got to meet him, but I have talked to him. Knowing Christopher Tolkien and knowing some of the other family members I've had correspondence with, because I used to do some writing for a thing called the Tolkien Society of America. Anyhow, so back in the early 90s, I actually, around the time they were celebrating Tolkien's centenary birthday, they were very adamant about people's loose interpretations. I can say with about 99% certainty, Tolkien would have been livid with these movies, that he would have been extremely irate and wondering, why is this character not there? How did you miss the importance of this character? Why did you change this scene here? Why did you do that? Why did you do this with Denethor? That is not how you're supposed to portray Denethor. Why did you change Boromir? That's not how you're supposed to. Why is Frodo dropping the ring everywhere? He would have had a lot of fits. The visual stunning imagery wouldn't have mattered to him. He would have said, why did you change this, and this? Because this is important to the message I was trying to put through in the books. To some degree, that's true. But to be honest, it sparked a lot of rereading. But the problem is the movies filtered in, because I've had people that, I never read the books, but I saw the movies and start reading the books and go, the movie was better. I couldn't even finish the book. And, but see, as a writer, Aaron, I don't like the term creative license. If I write a piece of work, I've created a world, I've created a universe, I have put some things in there, and then I sell the rights to make a movie. That's why I would never give away creative control. I would say I have to have final script approval. Because as a writer and somebody who's had works published, it angers me when somebody takes your work and misrepresents it. And the guys, it's one thing to say, hey, we couldn't put all this in because it's a 1,400-page book and we're doing a 3-hour movie. I get that. You can't put everything in. But when you add a bunch of stuff that's not in the movies, yes, he's a director. Yes, he bought the rights and can do what he wants. But therefore, I have the right to say he treated it like crap. I'm going to annoy people, so... Based on, and that's what the family said. The family should have said it's not even based on the books. The only thing they got right were the names. It's about as accurate to Lord of the Rings as it is to Watchmen. The model train layout is never finished, I suppose, but I probably would break that. I will hit a point where I'm saying, I'm done with this, and then it's just repairing anything that broke down. I will hit a point where I say, I don't need to do any more with this, that I'm happy enough where it is. And you can see how long I go where I don't work on it because I'm happy enough. Because in the end, I'm about the trains, not the layout. Duke of the Rings. But that's the thing. Like any hobby, you're going to have people of different visions and different attitudes, and what's okay for one isn't okay for the other. I don't care if a person has a layout. As long as you're running trains, I'm going to watch. And I'm just looking for the people that are having fun running trains. I like that shot of the trains in the background going through the trees. Although if you're a train spotter, the trees are probably in your way. Can't believe how many times I hear when you say gonna start doing scenery, had to finish tracking the buildings first. Oh yeah, there's always something. But I'm such a you like running trains and a nice bit of grass. Well, is that the scenic kind or somebody's finally blown their smoke? Gosh, it took you forever. Oh, let's catch him. Where is he? There we go. He finally started blowing some smoke. I turned that on about half an hour ago and it didn't start. Now all of a sudden it's going. Are you looking up? Hey, so Raymond, yeah. Well, I thank you, Dwight. I mean, expanding. I hate the word improvement because it makes it sound like it wasn't good enough, and it would have been good enough for me. That is oil. That is a Zoita. Zoita made the oil stuff. Zoita made both the oil holding unit and the oil for Märklin. So I'm curious what Märklin's going to do now that Zoita's out of business or is shutting down. Oh, right. Yeah, there you go, Tom. See, I've never read the books, and to be honest, never saw the movie, but I had friends in the book world that were not happy about the movie. Have I been to Arbroath late? What is Arbroath? Because I'm going to have to say no for now. In fact, I don't think I've ever been to Arbroath. Now you're messing me speaking with that Scottish Gaelic, throwing terms in there. Hey, Sir Thomas of Split Rock, welcome in. Good guy, Thomas. Great to have you here. Because the thing always comes down to, we always say rule one, but somebody is somebody's content with their layout, but somebody else isn't. Well, you should be doing this and you should be doing that. No, they shouldn't be. If they want to do that, well, I can't watch a channel if they don't do this, then don't watch the channel. You're free to not watch, and they're free to not do what you think they need to do. I had a Russian guy drop a comment in Russian, so I had to translate it, both from Cyrillic to Latin alphabet, and then its meaning. And he was being kind of snide, like, electric locomotives can't run without catenary. So I just typed around and I said, mine do. I got 2 electric locomotives right now running, and there's no catenary in sight. Oh, they of course put in a lot of hard work. They can just get certain things right. Call you a criticizer. Yeah. The universe was not created to please anyone, much less everyone. Everybody has their likes and their dislikes. And you're allowed to have your dislikes. And I'm allowed to say your dislikes. Exactly. Unsolicited advice. Uh-oh. Did I have a camera? Are we freezing up? Yep. Huh. We are here because at least once in our life we won a race. It may be the last race you ever won, but you won one race. Huh. Well, I will say it is freezing cold here, and that affects the wired exterior internet. We've had winds and we've had, so yeah, a bit of buffering. Yeah, I guess I'm not too surprised. I was watching Steve Childers live stream for a bit. He had a little bit of buffering. There we go again. So this might be weather related. And it may have been an unscheduled race. There's that too. Oh, for sure. Hello, Zater. So Zeta, welcome in. And no, I will not stop it, Timber Surf. Меня зовут господин Dodge. Как вас дела? Yeah, I turned the smoke on the other one, but it never started, so it might have a little bit of a clog. I need to tap it. Might be one of those that needs a little bit of a blow before it's ready to go. Good night, folks. Had a couple of decent trains going there. And catching another one coming the other way. And then that camera will be empty for a minute. Although you might see the little bus guy in the background. There he goes. Little rail bus there. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Nobody's there just yet, but you're about to get a piece of it. Yeah, Aaron, this is one of the things is when I designed this layout, it was about how many trains could I get running. I wanted to have an ode, an homage to Delmenhorst, my German hometown, my adopted German hometown. Yeah, I know. Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't had one of those around. And how old's my youngest? He's 31. My youngest is 31. So, yeah, so I haven't had one of those around for about 28, 29 years. I doubt we have one in the house. No, I usually either just tap it with my finger a couple of times on top of it, or I'll lean over and blow into the stack, and then all of a sudden it'll poof and start working. Poor guy's running out of steam. Boom, boom. Yes, I use that phrase. So I'm going to go ahead and turn him off, but I wonder why the 50 never, or that is the 50. Why didn't the 4 start? Yep, another freeze. Darn it. Come on, what's going on here? See, my problem is I'm actually OBS to StreamYard, and both of those are working fine. So what I'm sending out is fine, but what's coming back to you guys is not fine. Quick, where is it? There it goes. I do like this view. I don't know why I don't put it up enough. There comes that V200 right in your face. Ah, nope, he's going to turn away. And then there goes that VR44 chugging right past. I'm going to slow that 44 down a bit. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. They get an air bubble in there, or sometimes you fill it up too high and a little fluid gets into the central tube. So, yeah, you just sometimes have to work it out. That's right. They really didn't do cabooses. But a couple of the heavy horses of the German steam world, of Class 44 and a Class 50. And, sir, hey, hi there, Ironwood. Greetings and welcome, fellow knight. All right, we'll catch that 44 coming around one more time. Coming up. It's coming up. It's there. It's dropped off its load. Now it's taken. It's going back. Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of little fixes. I just would have to stop the train, and for the live stream, it's not that important. I was trying to get them both to smoke, and yeah, it's usually an air bubble in there. I could take a toothpick and stir it around, or just a quick blow in it, and it'll probably work. Yeah, more of a vape. But you know what, Timber Surf? I'm sorry. Unless somebody asks, there's no need. Unsolicited criticism, not needed. If somebody asks, what do you think I should do? Feel free to say, here's what I think you should do. If they don't ask, don't tell them, because you'll have 30 people on a chat who all have an idea of what you think, of what they think a person should do. You remember Tim Wells? You guys drove Tim Wells crazy because he would work on something and he'd get 20, 30 people. I'll say, Tim, you got to do this. Tim, do it this way. Tim, do it this way. And I would just sit there and type in the chat, say, leave him alone. Have you seen what he's built? Because when Tim got done doing it Tim's way, it was better than most of the people telling him how to do it. The same thing is with Graham Folston. He gets all these people trying to tell him he's doing things wrong, and yet his layout's better than most of theirs. Just because there's a way you think something should be done doesn't mean that's the way it should be done. Now, if a person says, hey, I don't know what to do, can somebody help me? Then feel free. But if they're not asking, don't give. That's my lecture rant for the day. We have too many people on YouTube that feel like they need to step in and tell you how to do something. And it's like, no. When I was having my problems 3 weeks ago with 3 different trains, I had several people. Boom, boom, boom. Anthony, you got to do this. Anthony, and it's like, dudes, I run my trains. I know how they fucking work. And you're not sitting here. You don't run C-Track and you're not running Märklin. So there are things you don't know that I do know, and I will sort it out. But I have to observe first and see where and when. And when I'm running 6 trains, it may take a little while. And as it was, we had one fake problem, and something else was causing the problems, but I didn't think it was at first. The exception when well, if somebody's on a live stream and they're sticking forks in a light socket, then yes, you might want to step in. Actually, Andrew, I caught you mentioning that in somebody else's. Hello, Sir Josh Cannon. Thank you. We're running a couple of steamers today. Running trains that you might have seen somewhere in Germany between the mid-60s and the mid-70s. But based on the chat I have with people, either privately or offline, they usually don't want the advice everybody gives. And it chases a lot of people off. But again, those people will say, all right, you have that out. Are you bowling tonight, Ray? I assume. Have a good time. I'm sure I'll get a few thumbs down for my little rant, but I'm sorry. I feel that way. I don't need, I've got enough electrical knowledge. I've got enough background. Yes, not everybody does, but those people will ask if they want. Because a lot of times your better way is not a better way. It's the way you think it's better. Yeah, people call your model trains battery powered. It's like, no, they're not battery powered. Some are. And see, I'll disagree with that. It's not about growing a thicker skin. It's about when you run a channel and you get, there's a phrase we have. The straw that broke the camel's back. And people go on YouTube for many reasons, and part of it, and it's not always, and some people handle it better than others and handle it in better places than others. It's not about growing a thicker skin. It's about being respectful. But, you'll get people that do that. There's, whether you're running analog versus digital or 3-rail versus 2-rail, scale, blah, 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 blah. How much detail, you're running electric trains. Why don't you have catenary? And there's just, and there's a point where, okay, how many times do you need to explain something to somebody that keeps wanting to help and say, no. You're a low 164. I'd say, yeah, I've only blocked, I think I've got 3 people blocked. One, because they were they just kept coming. They were going around and causing problems and all kinds of, they were a pariah. And many people in here actually dealt with the person, but it's been a couple of years now. They've been gone, but they pretty much got blocked. They would go in and start trouble and then start whining that everybody was picking on them. And hey, Kieran, nice to have you here, Sir Kieran. But, you know, I would say 90 to 95% of the unwelcomed comments I get, I just ignore. But every now and then, whether it touches the wrong nerve or I'm just in the mood to tell somebody where to stick it, I'll tell them where to stick it. You blew your monthly train budget on decoders and CD motors for your Lima locos. Well, I will disagree with that, Timber Surf. You can't avoid them. You don't have to take them. They will come, but you don't have to take them. You know, it's not like we are production companies making movies that we charge money for. We put up videos. Somebody starts a knitting channel and says, here's some stuff I knit. Here's what I learned from Uncle Ben and Aunt Betty and blah, 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 blah. And here's some knitting. And the original goal was to share it with friends and family. It's YouTube is a social media. Share it with friends and family. And then all of a sudden it comes up on somebody's feed and they come in and start criticizing your lighting, your this. Well, yeah, you kind of have to expect it. But I think a lot of people come on YouTube not expecting it because they're like, I'm not a production studio. And too many people, it's on my TV. It should be professional. Yeah, John. Hey, Sir Andy Puff Candy. Yeah, I've never left a negative comment on a YouTube channel in my life. Why? Why leave one? I've never left a suggestion. I take that back. One time a channel asked for suggestions. I commented with what I thought, and then they gave me a lot of grief for suggesting what I suggested. It's like, you asked for an opinion. I gave you what I thought. And so, yeah, I don't do it in private, in a private chat, but I'm not in your train room. I'm not looking at your trains. I'm not looking at your space. And even if I was there, I would have different things that appease me, that please me, that may not please you. You know, as easy as it is to tell people, you got to accept it, it's also just as easy to tell people, don't throw it out there. Don't go onto channels and start making uninvited suggestions. Why is that any harder than telling the people, well, listen to my suggestions and then you can throw them out? Why not just wait till they ask? Yeah, hello, Sir Simon, and welcome in. Josh, what kind of tank cars are they? My limited knowledge says they're tank cars. I'm sure many people in the chat might explain them. All I know is they're from some companies that don't exist anymore, like Arl. I don't think Arl's around anymore. I know AGIP went under. Hey, Stormy Skies, how are you? Hello, team at Stormy Skies. And Sir Aaron from Manshed, welcome in. But now I got a couple of different tankers, but to be honest, I don't know the difference between a petroleum and a natural gas tanker unless it says on a petroleum tanker, natural gas. I tend to be able to differentiate chemical tankers. Am I going to do that river? And you'd be interested to see how I do it. Well, I would be interested to see how I do it. I'd be interested to see how I do it. But my goal is to cut the foam, and it's only a 1/4 inch foam, is to cut the foam, lay in a very thin bit of water resin, and try to use tricks to make it look like it's actually going deeper than it actually does. But it's going to be hard to work. I have to take all these monitors out of the way so I could get there to work. So it'd have to be like, I'd start it Friday after a live stream. Okay, unplug all the monitors. They're moved. All right, let's start cutting and try to get it done. Definitely wouldn't be the Rhine River. It would be the Weser. It'd be the Weser. Because the Weser River is between Delmenhorst and Bremen. So it'd be the Weser. Yeah, these are very powerful locomotives. I could easily double or triple the amount of cars on these two steamers, and they would pull them just fine. Märklin's, especially Märklin's older models, are very strong pullers. Even the little guys that I got can pull a lot. Let's go to Joyce Cam for a bit. Your door is ajar. Bing. Your door. All right, John Vinicki, it was nice to have you here. It's been nice seeing you in some of the other live streams too, so I'm glad you're able to come out and about for a bit. It's nice seeing your name in the list. HO scale sharks. That would be cool. Miniature Wonderland's got some HO scale whale and sharks in places on their layout. Yeah, I miss old Joseph Agliamoto, our old Sergeant at Arms. But he moved to China with his wife. And once in China, he can't connect to the West. BR-50s and their direct descendant, the BR-52, are extremely popular and beloved locos from my understanding, both in German train culture and the model train world. As far as I know, she's planning on it. I don't know if she's at work. Joyce, if you're listening in, still at work, text me. And let me know how soon you'll be home. Joyce only worked yesterday and today this week. We had weather shut down the schools Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So they've already had 5 or 6 days off this year for weather. And only one of those days was an actual snow day. The other 5 were deep, frigid cold. The safety regulation in Toledo is minus 10 degrees Fahrenheit. So what is that? Minus 22, minus 25 Celsius. Air temperature or wind chill. If it's minus 10 or lower, then they close the schools. Now, minus 9, the schools are open. Minus 10, the schools are closed, but you always have to draw the line somewhere. So, yeah, so I assume she has a lot of work she's going to bring home this weekend, which means she'll be at work, but she walks home. Now, again, we have a foot of snow out there, but the sidewalks are all cleared. In fact, the one house that wasn't cleared, Joyce walked home yesterday, so her knee is obviously doing better. Joyce came in, grabbed a shovel, and walked back out and shoveled the area that snowplows and people that were supposed to clear it didn't clear, so that when she walked to work today and home today, she didn't have to go around it or through it. Yeah, I'm still waiting to see how many people got the convention lurgy. That's the worst thing. No matter, it's so many people. Now I've already saw that my life's journey, and Ray, you got to Ray Bobel met my life's journey, he got home and had a bit of a cold, and I heard a couple other people had picked up some bugs, because when you go to those big conventions, there are people that they're there and they're sharing. Deutsche Reichsbahn Class 52. Yeah, 52s were big, especially on the East German side. Oh, well, that's cool. You'll have 19 or 20 tracks. That's cool. That's big. I got 6 for driving, and then 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 more for parking. 5 and 5. Yep. So I got 6 for driving and 10 for parking. So 19 or 20 is amazing. Now, if I ever get this room with the funny painting on the door, I shouldn't say funny. One of my kids did that, and we thought it was cool enough we hung it up there. But if my one daughter ever moves out, that room will become a giant parking area. I've already got the track halfway to that room. I don't know, there really isn't a great camera. I'd have to go to the phone camera, and that usually goes grainy. Still better than hot, humid days. Yeah, I will say I prefer too cold over too hot, because you can at least add more clothing for too cold. Too hot, there's only so far you can strip, and then you got to start peeling off layers of skin. Well, go ahead, Artie. You'll get as far as Houston or LA or wherever you're flying out. My people will be on top of it, and dare I say, on top of you. I'm just waiting for you to get back and do your video, because our response is going to hurt. Our response is going to hurt so much, Artie, that even a masochist would say that's too much. You better have your safe word known and ready, because it's going to hurt. All right, Lee, take care. Have a great day. Yeah, I agree. It's still better than hot and humid. I'd rather be cold than hot and humid. And for the most part, I think you can still run your trade. I'm sorry. I thought Lee was saying goodbye. He wasn't. Yeah, today we were supposed to be minus 30 Fahrenheit, which was minus 34 Celsius wind chill. But that pushed north of us a bit. And it's going to be late. So it's not going to get quite as cold tonight. It's still going to get iceberg cold, but not as bad. The 2 guys down at the bottom, we haven't checked on these guys in an hour, so let's check on them. Oh, well, thank you for saying that, Lee. Even though I probably angered a few people with my little rant, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, the one thing I didn't show, because my grandson was excited about this. Actually, I was more excited about the little make it yourself presents. Ah. Come here, come here. Ah. Come on, come on. Come on out. Oh, there we go. Woo. I don't know if you can see this, but this is the Märklin C track that came with that Christmas train. It's the snow-covered white track. It's snow-covered track. No yellow snow to be seen on it. Well, if you're hungry, you should probably eat a little bit, but nothing that's going to upset your tummy overnight. But it's all radius 1. Ha. Hello, 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 hello. I don't know how you say goodbye. Hello. The Met Office forecasted no rain. Guess what? Oh, I tell you. I don't know. In the UK, you always have to account for rain. It's like Hamburg. Even if they say no rain today in Hamburg, there's still a 50% chance it will rain. Hamburg is one of those places where you can say, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. Hamburg, you'll have 4 seasons in one day. And that's a Crowded House song. 4 seasons in one day. Hamburg reminds you of Melbourne. Huh. I don't think it reminds me of either of the 2 big Aussie cities I've seen. Yeah, it does, Raymond Legs. Could easily be a technopop group. Radius 1s. You know, sort of like in the same vein as Kraftwerk. Chew, chew, chomp. Chew, chew, chomp, chew, chew, chomp, Loco, non-stop. Loco, non-stop. Märklin, non-stop. Only going to be 29. Ugh, that's still too warm. That's about 78, 79 degrees Celsius. How about chocolate and biscuits? I don't know. How do you respond to chocolate and biscuits? I would have no problem eating a little bit of chocolate right before bed. Depending on how many biscuits and how big the biscuits, and also, of course, biscuits being British for what we call cookies. They could sit... Tim Tams, there you go. They could sit heavy in your stomach, you know, heavy starch. Yeah, eat 5 pieces of lettuce. You'll be fine. No, I have never named it. I have never named my railroad. Everything is Model Train Outsider. The picture close to me. This is based on a real city in Germany, although it's not accurate yet, but the station and the bus center are. That is Delmenhorst. That is the German town of Delmenhorst. Let's see, Village View. We want to go Village View. There it is, Village View. So this is Delmenhorst. And my favorite thing, radius 1 is about 15 inches. 14 and a half inches. But, you know, I don't even, there's not even a route name. As far as I know, you know, the line Oldenburg to, well, actually, it's not even Oldenburg. It's Norddeutsche all the way to Hanover. All the trains that go through Delmenhorst, they run from Norddeutsche, which is the Northwest Depot near the North Sea. And then all the routes dead end on Hanover, and from Hanover, some route, I shouldn't say all routes dead ends, most routes dead end, but some will carry on if you're heading off to Leipzig or something like that. But usually you go to Bremen or Hanover, and then you change trains. But there is a route that runs all the way to Leipzig, and then from Leipzig into Berlin. And there's also another line that runs straight. Like when we go to Berlin, we'd have to change trains in Bremen or Hanover. We'd have to go to Bremen or Hanover and then change trains. So nope, I don't have a name. It's Delmenhorst and Bremen, except it's not even Bremen. It's a mock hybrid between Bremen and Hanover. So this is a mock-up of Bremen, which is funny because Bremen is 8 times bigger than Delmenhorst, but my Delmenhorst area is big, and my Bremen's just that little circle because I have all the parking tracks around it. Oh, I can. Petco. So no, I love it when people have names for, you know, Jumbo Lane or Charlie Bishop is Chadwick. Andy from March West Junction. He has March West Junction TMD, and then he's got his 009. And I'm sorry, Andy, if you're still listening in, I have forgotten the name of your 009 layout. Trethwin or something like that. And I probably totally botched that and said it wrong. And there you go. And I said 14 and a half to 5. Go figure. I knew it. Bremen has a giant, I don't know if I'd call it nice. It's just big. It's a big kind of aluminum one. I've been in the Bremen train station with heavy thunderstorm, and it reverberates through the station, even with all the train sounds and the people talking and announcements on every platform. Well, hello, Sir Steve Miller. Yeah, Josh, if I'm subscribed to a channel, I will comment on every video. I may not comment on every short, and I definitely don't see most posts. I definitely don't see most shorts. All honesty, I don't want to see your shorts, but that's a different thing. But yeah, I will always, if I'm subscribed to your channel, I will watch and comment. And it will always be some positive. Some people think it's too Pollyanna, but that's fine. You know, it's like, hey, that's really cool. Oh, I like that loco. Hey, that's nice. Good running, you know. Too many negatives. I prefer to be positive and non-bossy encouraging. Your package from UPS was delivered. What am I expecting today? Oh, yeah. Forgot about that. It's a small thing. It's just I bought something stupid just to put up on my train room. Just to have some train memorabilia around. Well, let's talk to Wifey Poo. The poor little Kyan got sick. Did Lynn, if you're listening in the background, did Kyan go to school today? You don't have to answer. You can text me if you want. Da, 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 da. Question mark. Question mark. I'm a hunt and peck guy. My fingers are too big for the little, even on this big screen, my fingers are too small. I have to type on. If I try to type with my thumbs, I miss half the letters. All right, good night, Dino. Thanks for hanging out with us. Oh, just in time for everybody to be on. There we go. That's another view. That is one of the little things I did on the scenery that I really like. I like the little view between the two hills there. But if I build the river, that's where it's going to go. After all the work I did to build those hills. Okay. Ah, okay. So he definitely was sharing with me yesterday. Well, poor little dude. Joyce is still at work. So she's going to come in very late. If she comes in. She says she's down to her last two things and then she's home. I figured she'd be very busy. All right. Good night, Andrew. Thanks for copping in. Yep. It is what it is. Sometimes they don't see big picture, or they don't wait for something to make a loop. That V200 is flying, and I've turned him down already a couple of times. He's just like, nope, I shall go fast. I am going to go fast. You will not tell me I will not go fast. I am a speed and power train, and I shall use my speed and power. Oh, we're going to catch all three on this side of the table at one time. That's cool. Quick blurb over the one channel. There that train goes off to the distance. Hey, this is a question that came up with Joyce and me talking in the UK. Now, our primary flowers don't start blooming up here until April or May. With the UK, with the switch from the dark winter, and now it changing rather drastically. Do your flowers come up and bloom earlier? Obviously, there are seasonal flowers, some that bloom in certain months of the year. But in general, does spring start a little earlier for you? And I'm not referring to the date, March 21st, 22nd. Just in general. Because in the Toledo area, like the trees don't really fully sprout leaves until almost the end of April. And sometimes not even until May. The buds are up in April, but sprouting into full leaves usually occurs later. When does gardening season start? Snowdrops are flying right now. All right, Sir Carl. Yeah, we the snow has stopped with us, although we're expected to get a little bit more snow this weekend. Yeah, here I bring up spring, and you guys are all talking about the snow now. Well, our big storm should have made it across the Atlantic to you guys by now. Of course, jet streams can blow it one way or the other. Oh, so snowdrops are an actual flower. I thought you guys were talking about the weather. See? Duh. Oh, you like 13 as a good view? I don't mind it. I hate to see my workbench area there because it's always so messy. But it gives you a nice long angle of the trains coming around that corner. And it's really one of the few cameras where you get an actual village scene behind. Because even those little roads there are just temporarily down. They're not permanent because this is all going to get moved and adjusted. And then I have to custom build a couple of buildings. Yeah, this really used to be my workbench right here. This was my workbench, but now it's my 2 test tracks and my programming track. Let's go to the big one. Yeah, there's 3 tracks here. This one is connected to my central station, and it's the programming track. So, for example, new train, I set it on the track, and it gets loaded into my central station automatically. These 2 are on a separate controller. There it is. Got to make sure I don't drop something at it. They're on a separate controller that's not connected to the central. And this is a test. Like if I think there's a problem and I'm worried it might mess with my central station, I'll put it on the test track. Because if it messes this up, all I got to do is plug this into my central station and reset it. But sometimes with old decoders, my central station may struggle reading it, but I can tell this one to do a manual search, and it'll find it. Like, oh, you have this train on the track right now at this address, where the central station does not do a manual search that way. So, so now I really don't have a workbench. My workbench is the bar you see back there. That little bar counter. That's my workbench now. So let's put some tracks back on. Most of the buildings are kit builds. I have a couple that are scratch builds that I made myself. And then like in this picture, you can see all the gray and orange buildings, a lot of 3D prints that I stole from Thingiverse. I shouldn't say stole because they're given free. And I always make a donation. When I take a pattern down, it always says donate to, I always donate to them. Well, actually, beer can be served at that bar, Raymond, except it tends to be a self-serve. If I want a beer, I get it myself. It's not complicated. But I do it by choice just to be on the safe side. But really, you know, the Märklin digital system is as easy to digital. You just, anything with the decoder, you just put it on the programming track and the central station reads it, loads it up. You don't have to program CV values yourself. You don't have to mess with any of that. And if you use Märklin decoders or anybody that's using what are called MFX decoders, it will automatically assign the address to the next open number. And then if you want it to have a specific address, literally it's 3 seconds. You go in, you click edit, click on the locomotive. It gives you the address it's at, and you just click on that address and type in the new address, click OK. Take it out of stop motion. Boom, it reads it and sets it for its new address. It's about as easy to do digital as it can be. It really is plug and play. But there's nothing wrong with being analog. There's nothing wrong with that. And the funny thing is, Brian, is that when people do analog and then they're doing all the stuff I don't do, like they're doing the drop wires so many feet to make sure there's consistent power through their track. When they're building block detection sections, and then they start going into JMRI, all that stuff, because I don't do it, it's all whoosh, too complicated for me. But to somebody who does it, it's a snap. Well, hello, Sir Mark of Dunable Dad. I almost wore your hoodie again today, but I grabbed this one. Do you serve Chinese food, sir? We serve anyone food. But Joyce and I do not drink heavy stuff. We've got 2 bottles of whiskey that were wedding presents 38 years ago, and they've never been opened. One is Canadian whiskey, and I forget what the other one is. I don't even remember the last time Joyce. Well, we drink wine at the holidays. We'll have a glass of wine with Christmas and Thanksgiving dinner. But otherwise, I drink no hard liquor. The strongest stuff I drink is I get this brandy from a little place on the Rhine River. And in 2019, I bought 3 bottles. I still have a bottle and a half. Joyce and I just don't, a bottle and 2/3. We just don't drink that often. We're not opposed to it. We just don't. But that's all in the upstairs cabinet. And none of our kids. It's bean stew. Never mind what it's been. What is it now? And again, the Duchess is still running smoothly, other than her little grumpy get-up earlier. Yeah, in my world, they're post-haul. They emptied out. It's the real answer, the honest answer is I just don't have any stock to put in cars. I have no freight to throw in, so I could make some wood or, I don't know what would be the best ideas for the flatbeds. I have very few freight cars that have material in them, that have loads in them. So in my world, it's just dropped its haul, and now it's taken all the empties back. Yes, a grumpy Duchess. Well, the old aristocracy. They're just so petulant. She was a little persnickety to get going at the start of the live stream, and then had a little derail issue. Yeah, no worries. Unfortunately, I won't. In the world of trains, I won't always have the best answer. I will know some things, but most things I just untouch it. Mr. Anthony, we are not abused. Oh, how dare you push me and make me run today? I was not planning on running today. I am a lady, and you shall treat me as such. Move it, bitch. If you like pina coladas. Oh, God, don't go there. That song, I could give such a funny rant about. The pina colada song from the 70s. I could give such a goofy rant about it. Because it's supposed to be this wonderful romantic love song. But what it is, it's a song about 2 people who were cheating. A couple who both were bored with each other and were cheating, going to cheat. And then the joke is they both answered each other's Lonely Hearts letter. Yeah, I'm sorry, Simon. I'm an American. We're trained to be rude to aristocracy. Well, hello, Sir Dirk. Gotta go back to work. All right. Get to work. And don't you use that kind of language in here. That's the only dirty word in this chat. You can, I don't edit. I don't care. Oh, yeah, my apology was fake anyhow, Simon. Unless I have tears in my eyes, I'm not really sorry. Oh, I got to go back to Chesty's video about the Metropolitan ICE to see if he answered my question about whether it actually ran in that livery or currently runs in that livery. Yeah, it's really weird because obviously trains don't actually have a mind of their own, but there are times where things just seem to, you brag about something and that's the day it acts up, or something always acts up, so you complain about it and put it on camera. It's like people who take, Joyce has an older sister that would have problems with her car, and she would complain about it. Her former husband would drive the car, and the problems wouldn't be there. But as soon as she got in there, the problems would be there. And they finally took it to garage, and the first mechanic had no problem with it. It kept happening again whenever she would drive. They took it in. The other mechanic finally drove it, and apparently it was how long you drove it. Then the problem developed, and they finally found the problem, but it was driving her crazy, literally for like a year or more, where she would drive this car around town and she would start having these little clunking sounds or whatever. But then her husband, she would talk about to her then husband, they're divorced. Your Bachmann G gauge has a mind of its own. Well, it certainly has eyes. Yeah, totally Zugänge. Yeah. But yeah, I always call it, when things are acting up, I always refer to it as the gremlins. And the thing is, my first 280 shows, 290 shows, we rarely had any real gremlins. But the 290s became an adventure, because it seemed like every week something was going wrong, but it was always something different. It wasn't like you could pinpoint like, oh, this piece of track or this section of the track is messed up because every train is having that problem on this line. No, it'd be one train is uncoupling on line one for the first half hour of my show. And so you keep recoupling it and uncouples, but it's not the same two cars, because if it's the same car, you go, okay, it's a coupling issue between these two cars, and you can turn one of the cars around or whatever. But no, it's not uncoupling in the same place, like it's a bump in the track and it just creating havoc when you have certain types of couplers. It just seems to be like there's some gremlin like, I shall mess with you today. Boink, ha ha ha, boink, ha ha ha, boink. And then he finally gets bored and leaves me alone for the rest of the live stream. Because eventually I sort them out. The one 3 weeks ago took forever to sort out because it was 3 different problems, and they could have all been one problem connected or 3 totally different problems. As it was 2 different problems. All right, have a good night, Lee. Take care. Stay safe. Stay warm. The flywheel makes it move when the controller is at 0. That's weird. Did I start winning anything from this channel? I'm not quite sure what you're asking. I do make money. Oh crap, Joyce is here. She's not supposed to know that. I do indeed make money. Not a lot, but enough that covers 1 or 2 new locos a year. 1 or 2, and not really expensive ones. 2 really cheap ones. Hi, sweetheart. I expected you to be late today because I figured a 2-week Friday means there's more work for you on the weekend than a 5-week Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, as crazy as that is. And it is crazy.
Hi,
Tom. Oh, hi there, Simon.
If you're new to the
Hi,
channel,
Mark.
this is my wife, Joyce.
Hi, Chris. Valley.
If you're an old timer on the channel, this is my girlfriend, Janet.
Hi, Tom. Hi, Greg. Nice to see you guys. Hey, Chuck.
Okay, I got to answer a question here.
Oh, hi, Josh. Hi, Andy. Hello, John. Hi, Mr. Engineer. Hi, Artie.
Hi. There is absolutely
You guys
no.
back in South Carolina? Oh, hey, hi, Andrew. Hello, Christoph. Hi, Leman. Oh, hello there, Rulu.
All right, so let me answer this question real fast, Joyce.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
Hi, Greg.
it's in the end, the money you make on your channel is based on
Hello, Great Northern. I'm actually
how many
Hi, Karen.
view hours you have.
Right.
You have to get so many subscribers to monetize, but it's now, it used to be 1,000. Now you can monetize at 500 if you have the
Hi,
number
Karen.
of if you have a high enough number of view hours. And once you have that number of view hours, then you can monetize. So it's just, it's not,
Hello to Heather.
it's not how many subscribers
I was
you have,
glad you guys get in.
but obviously the
it's
more
early.
subscribers you have, the more views you're likely to get.
Yeah, to a point. What happened to Belinda?
Hi, Heather.
Oh, good grief.
I dumped her. She was too needy.
Oh, good Lord. So, yeah, I had John.
She didn't like my trains.
I had John in my room.
What's that?
I had John in my room.
I figured you did.
You were keeping me company.
I know. That's why I said, if you're in there, send me a text.
Oh, why?
You didn't hear me that. To know if you were still at work. I sent it about 4:45, 5 o'clock, or when you were coming back,
Yeah.
so I could relay that message to the team.
Yeah, I know. When I got it.
So when I reached the ability, I got the 1,000 subscribers at the time and the 400 watch hours a month. I monetized because they're going to throw commercials on anyhow. I might as well get a piece of the pie. But I do very little. I don't sell. You can sell subscriptions once you get so many levels. I don't do that. I don't sell subscriptions. You can have people donate money.
If you hug back virtually.
I don't ask people. In fact, I get upset if people donate money to me. I don't like people donating money to me.
We're doing okay. We don't need it.
I'm okay. I can afford my trains. I don't need people.
You can afford his trains. You can afford his
but
channel.
I don't have a problem with people who do. Okay, some people hear how my attitude and they think that I must not like them because they do monetize. And
No, it's fine. Do what you need.
Do what you want. It's your world.
Do what you need. Yeah. It wasn't too bad, Aaronville. I'm just juggling a lot of different things right now. We're getting on a field trip that now it's been changed like 4 times. She responded fast.
Meditation,
set up a trip with a ranger for the kids this week.
That's why I'm like so long.
I just had a lot of stuff to do. And I have the special ed kids, so I have to copy answer keys and stuff for the teachers. And it's just, the list almost never ends. And then I have 3 kids that are not on my list for our computer system, so I have to get it from the other 2 teachers. I have to help the new teacher with a lot of things and just, everything. So.
Okay, I got to respond to that.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm tired, but we had quite a few days
that's
off,
why your lives are so long. No, actually, I don't make a lot of money on my live streams.
Yeah.
Even though my live streams got a lot of views, I minimize, although James from Dundas Junction might disagree.
So the train to
I
Oxford
minimize
would be
the
nice.
amount of commercial interruptions.
Hi, Clintonville.
I have
Need a
my
pork pie.
commercial
Hey,
level
chocolate
set
biscuits and 4
to
basic
the
sauces.
lowest
That's all right.
possible level. YouTube will throw on what YouTube wants when they want, but I don't allow them to do more than the minimum
Right.
they will
Yeah,
allow
he
themselves
tries
to do.
that. Yeah.
So some of you
That's
get
all right.
commercials, some of you don't. For example, on this, watching on the computer while I'm live streaming
Some
here,
trains have a mind of their own.
we don't get
Indeed,
commercials.
Josh.
This is a different computer, and that Joyce is talking to and looking at.
Yeah.
It doesn't get commercials during my live stream, but some of you do.
Right. Yeah. This one doesn't. Oh.
Trains have a mind of their own.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Josh is telling you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I think I can go one more year. I want to go one more year. Our grandson will be at our school, and I really want to be there to kind of support him too.
Yeah.
I told him he gets in trouble. They're not calling Mama; they're calling Oma. She gave me quite a look.
I succumbed with a pork pie.
I don't think there's a
I think that's the problem, Aaron. If you don't sleep now, I think it was the pork pie.
I don't think
the
it's
chocolate and biscuits on top.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad that you do that.
Well, it's 10 o'clock and he's
Oh,
going to
Greg
bed.
says you don't get commercials either. Okay, that's good.
That's good.
Yeah.
So I really limit. So I don't make a lot of money on my live streams. I make more money on a 20-minute video
Mama
that gets
pickled
400
sausage.
views.
You know what that is?
Who what?
Yeah, I mean sometimes he goes to sleep sometimes just so I can come in.
You want a mama pickled sausage?
Yeah, I saw that.
Nothing about that sounds good.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Well, the sausage, but
You really
the minute you
sausage.
said pickled, forget it. We're
Yeah,
out.
we don't want it pickled. Dang, this thing must have bled today too. I don't have anything there to do on this.
So, yeah, I mean, I could make more money, but I do so many things that prevent my channel from making money.
Well, yeah, because we know it's irritating to get so many.
Not
commercials.
only do I limit the commercials to the best I can, but also the type of content I put up does not draw the views. You know, model train people want to see you truly building a layout and being somewhat direct and methodical in how you're doing it.
Okay. Yeah, the ankle and the knee are definitely getting a lot better. I guess I kind of judge it on my treadmill. I'm still not going as fast as I was before. I have to slow down because the knee all of a sudden complained. So it's healing well. So it probably will take it another couple of weeks just to be completely healed. I was moving my ankle around to see if that gets annoyed, and yeah, it doesn't like a couple moves I make with it still, but they're healing okay.
Slowly but surely.
So are the fingers.
Slowly, but don't call me Shirley.
These are very slow healing.
Yeah, I know.
I think both of them.
But so
That's
yeah.
got a scab on it. That's
So
I have to wash that.
like
So,
my
healing.
comedy stuff. Now the Matt Clark stuff I can monetize, but the parody songs
Oh,
I
good
can't
for you,
monetize.
Josh. You're gonna have 19 or 20 tracks on your layout. Wow, you got enough room to do that? That's very cool. Are you 2-level? Is that what
I think
helped?
many levels.
Yeah, maybe multiple levels. Okay. That's really cool. Anyway, I'm glad I made it back. You know, I was kind of rushing there a lot, but I had a lot to do. Didn't copy because I changed gears on a lesson. So I had to copy those sheets and mark my scores up for the kids because I try to bribe them.
When I look at the number of subscribers I have,
Okay, very cool, Josh. That sure is a lot of track.
when I look at the number of subscribers I have, I find it amazing I have even that
Yeah.
many because I really don't pull subscribers in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a
You
core
guys
group of-
help them too, which is nice. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I walked the last 2 days here, and it's really just slightly over a quarter mile while I extend it
Good night,
because I walk
Karen.
I walk at school too. Everybody's used to me. I will do a couple laps around my
Scania,
school.
long time no see. How have you
Just
been?
getting my ice for my water and
We're
putting stuff
good,
away and
mostly.
everything else. So, oh, good. He's lisping.
It's been a while, DJ.
Nalina?
Yeah, I hope
That's
you're well.
DJ. Yeah, we're doing okay. We've had a couple rough things, but we're doing fine. You know, it's just life. Weird things happen to you, and I was doing my.
We're down to 32. We had as many as 50. I saw.
Yeah, I saw a lot too.
Well, yeah, but
yeah, I did my
I think I
Daisy.
should-
If you haven't hit the like button yet, please hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, Miss Coggett.
Ooh,
Not now, Miss Coggett. But hopefully soon.
hopefully soon. Oh, so happy New Year to you too. So.
Oh, bother. Who's interrupting me in the office on a work day?
Oh, it's the men from SAGS.
Oh, not them again. Never was there a more misappropriated name for a group of jaded gentlemen.
Yeah, we really want you all to watch Matt Clark. Just start with the first one. It's fun and funny, I hope. Yeah, and it gets better as it goes.
I really am going to try to force myself to get some writing done this weekend.
So.
Just hopefully nothing
No
breaks my soul.
issues. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Josh, that's my Daisy voice.
Yeah, that's a character from our cartoon
it's a
show.
Our cartoon, and she is
comic strip
she
show.
is quite the quite the temptress. She is. Spot a tippin'. Do you understand that? Sometimes you guys throw your English expressions at us, and we speak the same language mostly. Trifling. Spot a trifling. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, well, that's Daisy Coggett.
Yeah, see, I put a lot of that, and that chases people off.
Now.
I get people going, Anthony, you should put all your comedy stuff on a different channel. It's like, I'd spend more time there than on my drink channel.
So no, it's all right. It's
I just throw it all on here.
That's what his channel's about.
This channel is
He's
very
always
chaotic.
been very, okay, that's good. Go ahead and ask people to do that.
Well,
So when you do speak the King's English, I understand that. It's when you do, it's the slang that you guys will get us.
Who's this us, Artie? You speak Aussie.
You speak Aussie, which is not the King's English. We're good. I'm glad, Josh. I'm glad that made you laugh.
And and you don't even speak the King's English, Artie.
Good Lord.
You don't even speak the Queen's English.
Yeah, you just speak Aussie.
The only Queen's English you speak is if you're trying to sound like that guy that dresses funny down in your neighborhood. Oh, I'm probably with you there, Raymond. I would do that. No, I don't put a lot of work. I do spend a lot of Friday because I come down. First of all, I got to turn the heater on to warm the basement up a little because it can be a little chilly down here.
It's colder.
And then I give all the trains a final run through to make sure they're not going to suddenly develop hiccups. And then I go through and check the cameras and make sure they haven't been bumped because many of them have been through the day because I'm going over here and doing some, bump this camera. I've got wires that have a mind of their own and try to pull on trains.
Yeah, he works hard down here. If you won the lottery, you'd build the most ridiculous train layout you could.
I probably would too.
That's probably everybody.
Actually, I'd probably pay somebody.
In this room, Raymond. Yeah.
If I won the lottery, I'm having Josef Brandl from Germany come over
to
and
America.
I'll give him a couple of pictures and say, build this for me.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's nice.
Josef Brandl. And if you don't know who Josef Brandl is, he's like one of the best model train layout builders.
He's extremely talented.
He's a professional guy.
Yeah, very, very talented.
YouTube or Google his name, Josef Brandl. JOSEF BRANDL. Josef Brandl.
All right. Thank you, Shrek. That's nice. Appreciate you guys' support, Greg. Well, and all of you. It's not just him.
Depends on the crowd around what English you use.
And greater.
I speak American English. I talk American English.
Yeah, we sure do. Your new boiler's working great.
Yeah,
that's
if you remember
wonderful.
it,
Yeah, I know you had to get it. So 24 inside. For 3 weeks and 4 days, it was 12. Oh, that's cold.
Even for Celsius.
So I
That's
understand
right.
where he is. So yeah, that's wonderful. I'm very glad you have your boiler back.
Miss Tackett, it's lovely to see you.
Good heavens,
Although-
that's awful to lose that heat.
This winter chill has made it rather nippy outside.
Gentlemen, I do not need another sweat.
And
Go to the neckline, gentlemen. You know
eyes
the rules.
above the neckline.
Eyes above
You've
the
forgotten your
neckline.
line. That's
I
how
have.
long it's been.
Eyes above the neckline, gentlemen.
Eyes above the neckline, gentlemen.
That's right.
Oh,
So
fiddlesticks.
anyway, that's good. It is just too cold. That's awful. And
Well, you
it's
just
even-
blew up one of those.
Even if temperatures you think aren't that bad, like
You just
60,
blew up one
that's
of Her
not that
Majesty's Royal
bad.
baggage
I'll
cars.
tell you Celsius for that. And you sit at it and not moving that much, you're freezing. Yeah, that's the truth, Tim.
Oh, indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, it's just the stuff you don't appreciate until you don't have it. And you're
Which is why you
and
listen to
around
you
here.
listen to
It's
your
our air
father about
conditioning.
making
It's
sure
the
you take
heater.
care of it.
Yeah, you take care of it indeed. Yeah.
I pressed the like when Joyce said so in that Southern Daisy speech.
Thank you, Erville.
Not now, Miss Goggett.
Like how Anthony makes voice for steam locomotive trains. You make a voice for your steam locomotive trains?
Oh, I just do voices. I've done voices my whole
He's
life.
always done voices. That
My
is
kids
true.
loved it when I read to them
know.
because all the characters had different voices.
We even take people for granted.
But my kids would take
They're always there, and all of a sudden they're not. And it's like, what?
my kids were so into it that when I would when I read them The Hobbit as kids, and I would give all the dwarves voices. Like the first night, I'm like, okay, I need a name for this dwarf, for this hobbit. I need a name. I need a voice. I need a voice. And I would give them voices, and then 3 nights later, Dad, that's not Bilbo's voice. That's Thorin's voice.
That's why we have notes for Matt Clark and video. We can always go back and look.
Yeah, I would do voices all the time.
Yeah.
So, my German trains love German voices. Sometimes I'll just go with the Prussian voice.
Ah, yeah, I hear you. That makes sense.
You'd have 2 boilers for redundancy.
Yeah,
You would have,
space
which
heaters.
is subjunctive case. So why don't you?
Yeah, really. My word.
Unless it's all about winning the lottery.
Yeah, there's that. So it would be very expensive and take up space where you could put your trains. I said it would be very expensive and take up space that you would use for trains.
There you go. See, Joyce understands the hobby.
I understand the hobby.
Any
Yeah.
man that says women don't understand the hobby, there you go. She understands.
I do.
Why don't you have 2 boilers? Because they'd be expensive and take up space and money for trains. Right, yeah.
The lottery were giving Liz enough money. She
I got him now. I got him now.
Yeah,
Hey,
we don't play the
Bob,
lottery, though.
you need a house to go with this layout.
That's not exactly true. When the Powerball is up really high, we have someone on our staff who collects money to buy a
They
lot
all
of
go into
tickets
it
for
together,
us.
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see.
All right, good night, Christoph. Good night.
This your use of gadgets.
Schlaf
It's true.
gut.
You haven't been using your Pickelhalber
Oh, yeah.
or
Well,
anything else.
no, the problem is the Pickelhalber met an angry veterinarian.
It's true, Dad.
I'll let your minds figure that one out.
All right. Good night, stuff.
It would be even more abstract,
Take
but
care.
maybe some
Hopefully see
people
you next
of
week.
a certain age might get. My Pickelhalber ran into Bob Barker.
All right. And then Martin. Yeah, because it's almost your time. So Martin's leaving. So take care.
Oh, that's right. Martin O'Keefe was here earlier.
Martin
Take care.
O'Keefe.
Good night. I
Okay.
didn't say hi because he wasn't on my list.
Yeah,
Just got watching in the
gotcha.
background.
Well, so hi and
Yeah,
bye.
see, it's almost 6 o'clock, so the wait staff is passing out the bills. So everybody said,
Yeah, they're leaving. Yep, I'm out of
the
here.
bills are being passed.
If you won the lottery, Your train layout would be a 1-1 scale, so you'd get
It's
a
all
real
bunch of
one.
horse poop.
Good grief.
See, I'm practicing
Really
all
small
the
for
voices
you.
now to
Yeah,
get
you
myself
are.
in the
That's
mood.
good. That's
It's all
good.
a bunch of horse poop.
Yep.
Now, Smokey, your mother and I are quite unhappy with you.
1,200.
No, Smokey.
12,000. Wow, so expensive and not that great. Would have had
No,
to have
Smokey,
hot
you can't
water
stay up
cylinder,
late.
no
No,
space for
Smokey,
that.
you can't go out in the fields
Okay.
and play by yourself. No, Smokey, you can't ride your horse down to Tijuana and see the
Sure,
shows.
heat pump is
It's all
that
a bunch of horse
expensive?
poop. Say what?
12,000 for a heat pump.
Ay.
Even a system of bigger, I don't think would be that expensive here.
No, if we had to do our whole house,
Yeah,
bit, but
I don't
again,
think
heat
that
pump
much.
is a little bit different machinery.
Yeah.
Yeah, about $12,000 would replace our entire heating and air conditioning system.
Oh, yeah. But
Yeah, but that
I
would
don't
be
think
everything.
it would have to. I don't think it'd be that expensive. I could be wrong. But I didn't think what we put up in our room was that bad. It was
I did have a couple of
$200.
hats here. Where'd I put them? Oh, there they are.
Anyway, it's $5.59.
Yeah.
I think it's
It's
a nice.
$5.59. I got
And
my
it's a
little
nice
Danish
green
driver's cap.
There you go. I wasn't sure about the Danish driver cap, but it looks good on him. So
Yeah,
It's
she don't
all right.
want me to buy it.
no, I'm like, what would you do with it? Yeah, live feed.
And then
How
I got
much is
my-
the
I
lotto
got
and
my
how much
Molly
is
hat.
the T1 trust spent making the T1? I don't think I can answer that. And I don't know where it is because I don't pay attention to it.
Molly,
but,
Molly, get
Yeah,
your...
he collects $2 and I'm all in that. All in for that. I can afford $2. Everybody says we're gonna retire right away. And I'm like, I would at least finish the year. We cannot lose that much staff because we won the lottery.
That would be funny. A whole school staff wins a big mega lottery.
Yeah.
They each get $10 million.
Right.
And they all
God.
quit the next morning.
We're gone. Yeah.
We're in desperate
Not
need of
at our
25
school.
We're in desperate need of 25 teachers at our school.
So
Oh, the Board of
I
Education would
finish
have a
here.
field day with you guys.
Oh, sure would.
They would not be happy.
I don't know what they do. They wouldn't have to cut anybody though.
They'd take away your bonus, retirement bonus.
Maybe.
Big deal.
Well, if I won $10 million, I wouldn't miss
Yeah,
it.
indeed.
So it's okay.
No,
A
$10 million
Valiant
we're moving.
Eco 830, 98% efficient. That is wonderful.
Percent efficient.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I was tripping over that. A 2% loss in gas heat dissipation. Ah,
Maybe you
that's
need to-
wonderful.
you're going to need to practice reading and go into your Daisy voice again.
That is wonderful.
My new boiler is a Valiant Echo
Our new
830,
boiler is a
98%
Valiant
efficient.
Eco 830, 98% efficient. For example, just 2% loss in gas heat.
Oh my God.
Dissipation,
You really can make that work.
98% used directly for heating, etc. Heat pumps are also require bigger radiators. I do all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Good night, folks. We have to go.
Yeah. February for a train show on the
Something's just popped
14th.
up.
Tupelo, Illinois. Good. Yeah, I know what you mean, although something is coming back down. So it's going to be cold again in February.
I wasn't talking about that, but okay.
Well, you weren't. Josh was.
The
Oh,
children, think of the children.
we don't have any children in here, do we?
All right.
All
All
right.
right, let's go. I got to keep going to the top. All right, everybody. Let's bingo, bingo, bongo. All right, it is 6 o'clock, our 3-hour tour. I never realized that. We're a 3-hour
We
tour.
are a 3-hour tour.
It's Gilligan's Island.
Or a 3-hour tour.
Our 3-hour tour has come to an end. We want to thank all of you who came and
We
stayed.
didn't lose you, so that's
And those of you who stayed to collect your bills, the rest of you,
Yeah.
we'll
Thank
catch
you.
you on the credit cards.
Yep.
So we will see you next Friday. I don't think
Nice.
I will have a couple of videos out
Same.
next week, I think,
That
and maybe
channel?
more depending on if I get the stuff from Arizona that hasn't left Arizona in a week.
wow. Okay.
They heard snow and I guess
I
panicked.
don't think I know
All
where
right.
you bought.
So until next Friday, we're going to say Auf Wiedersehen
Choose.
and happy trains.
Bye.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you.
We're Knights of the Round Table. April.